Attention, humans of Earth. We are the Lithania, and we bring a message of dire urgency. The microphone crackled as a strange, warbling voice cleared its throat. We flubbered up big time, and, well, we sort of need your help. You see, we kinda, maybe possibly created a Galactus. And, well, it's consuming the galaxy as we speak. And that's precisely how humanity's day started. So, a little bit of an explanation is in order before we continue. So, out of the blue, these Lithania aliens decided to bestow Earth with a colossal gift, a testament to our species. It turns out that they're really, really huge fans of our comic books. They wanted to build a statue symbolizing humanity's spirit, a gargantuan statue of liberty for the cosmos. The problem? Their chief scientist, Braxar, had a grand vision. Let's just say he wanted the statue to have a certain lifelike quality. Little did he know, this would lead to a series of unforeseen events. Okay, back to the story. The transmission cut to the image of a sheepish-looking alien, or at least as sheepish as a creature with a beak could look. You see, the Lithanian continued, its voice tinged with what sounded remarkably like embarrassment. Our chief scientist, Braxar, wanted to imbue the statue with a spark of something special. He used a combination of bioengineering and, well, let's just say a sprinkle of technology we only partially understand yet. The video switched to a breathtaking image from deep space. A gargantuan metal statue floated eerily, dwarfing nearby stars with its sheer size and menacing pose. It was clearly a humanoid figure, stylized as if torn from the pages of a comic book. But the size was far beyond anything a human could have imagined. We named it Atlas, after your mythical figure, the Lithanian explained, mouth twitching uncomfortably. He was meant to embody your strength and resilience. But what Braxar didn't anticipate was... Suddenly, Atlas's eyes blazed to life, twin stars of crimson energy piercing the gloom of space. A rumble, like a dying planet, echoed through the transmission, and Atlas began to move. But it wasn't a hero's majestic rise. It was a starving giant's lumbering motion. With terrifying speed, the Titan's hand reached out and snatched up an entire planet. Chunks of debris spalled off as Atlas crunched the world like a cosmic apple. The terrified screams of its inhabitants lost in the vastness of space. Atlas developed a hunger, the Lithanian concluded, voice barely a squeak. Energy, matter, he needs it like we need air. He's already consumed 5 of our systems. We tried to reason with him to stop him, but it's no use. We fear his gaze will soon turn to your part of the galaxy. Please, humans, you write about these kinds of things all the time in your comics. You must know how to defeat something like this. News broadcasts around the globe went into an absolute frenzy. Images of Atlas and his cosmic feast flickered on every screen, from Times Square billboards to dusty televisions in remote villages. Panic mingled with disbelief. Was this real? Was it a joke and catastrophically lousy taste? Meanwhile, world leaders scrambled in a series of hastily arranged, utterly chaotic emergency summits. Generals barked orders. Scientists, usually the voice of reason, could offer nothing but wild-eyed theories alongside comic book enthusiasts who suddenly became humanity's leading experts on giant planet-eating entities. Amidst this maelstrom, a different kind of reaction was brewing. On message boards, in subreddits, from dorm rooms to back alleys, a phrase began to spread like wildfire. Wait a second. We write these humanity flub yeah type of stories. Nerds, usually the quiet ones, found their voices. Cosplayers started brainstorming armor upgrades beyond foam and duct tape. Strategy gamers dusted off their planet-conquering save files, eyes glinting with a strange mix of fear and excitement. Back on the Lithanian ship, the alien delegation looked bewildered at the sheer outpouring of human responses. To them, Earth seemed a world gone mad, but they detected a uniquely human flicker amongst the fear and confusion. Was it an odd blend of terror and anticipation? So here's the plan, a grizzled United States admiral began, addressing the most unlikely council ever assembled. A collection of world leaders, the Lithanians, a theoretical physicist with a Power Rangers tattoo, and a 14-year-old Twitch streamer known for her galaxy-destroying builds. You guys aren't so good at this whole gift-giving thing. But hey, when life gives you a planet-munching robot, you make cosmic lemonade, right? What's a lemonade? And why are we making it right now? Will it help us defeat Atlas? One of the Lithanians whispered to another. A hush fell over the room as the gravity of the situation truly sank in. The Lithanians squirmed uncomfortably. Had they unleashed the end of everything? The Twitch streamer, username Nova Blitz, cracked her knuckles. Okay, so Atlas is basically a walking black hole, right? We need to either overload his circuits until kablooey or starve him out. She paused, a mischievous glint in her eye. Option A sounds like way more fun. Absolutely not. Dr. Patel, the theoretical physicist, practically jumped out of his seat. A catastrophic explosion would destabilize this entire sector. Containment is our only viable path. He unrolled a blueprint filled with complex diagrams and hastily scribbled calculations. We need a massive energy field, a cosmic fence, to quarantine him. We can lure him with artificial energy signatures, like giant space baits. Space baits? The Admiral raised a skeptical eyebrow. Doc, no offense, but this isn't fishing for tuna. Who's fishing for what now? Will this fishing for tuna help us defeat Atlas? Asked the Lithanian in the back of the crowd. Suddenly, a small voice piped up. One of the Lithanians, shifting nervously from foot to foot, offered a suggestion. What if we could talk to Atlas? He was meant to be intelligent. Maybe there's still a spark in there somewhere. The room erupted in debate. Should we risk another communication attempt? Should we engineer an impossible explosion? Could giant, glowing energy lures truly work? It seemed every plan held equal parts promise and utter disaster. Then, the Admiral slammed his fist on the table. All right, folks, let's get crazy. Lithanians, you try to reach your metal buddy. Doc, you and your team start working on those fishy space baits. Nova, what's her face? He gestured to the streamer. You assemble the biggest online raid the universe has ever seen. We'll hit this thing from every angle. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of the scared but strangely excited faces. Humanity might not write doomsday stories in our comics, but we sure as hell know how to write an epic comeback. Actually, a voice from one of the Lithanians said, humans write a lot of doomsday stories in comics, like an actual absurd amount. A wave of laughter rippled through the room. The Lithanians looked around nervously, not understanding why everyone was laughing. The Admiral grinned. All right then, sports fans, educate and enlighten us. This is How to Survive the Apocalypse, Humanity 101. Is he quoting one of their human Bible verses now? Whispered one of the Lithanians to another. I'm so confused. In the following days, it was a scene straight out of the most unlikely science fiction fantasy collaboration ever. Scientists, their lab coats hastily swapped for cosplay capes, consulted with military strategists who suddenly wished they'd paid more attention to StarCraft. Fueled by adrenaline and energy drinks, teams of programmers worked alongside Lithanians, manipulating alien technology that none of them understood. Nova Blitz, now known as Commander Nova Blitz, became the nexus of a global resistance network. Legions of gamers, united in a cause far grander than any virtual battle, mapped star systems, devised attack patterns, and ran terrifying simulation after terrifying simulation. Every failed attempt was dissected, fueling the next plan with fierce determination. Dr. Patel, aided by suspiciously accurate comic book diagrams, spearheaded the construction of the space baits. These colossal, glowing energy sources would, in theory at least, lure Atlas off his destructive course. The question was whether they'd be as tempting as a planet-sized snack. Meanwhile, the Lithuanians, not to be confused with Lithuanians, according to my Grammarly spell checker, were busy being guided by hastily translated human psychology textbooks and attempted to reach any glimmer of consciousness remaining in their creation. It was a heartbreaking gamble, filled with pleas and reminders of the ideals Atlas was meant to symbolize. With each passing hour, the tension ratcheted higher. Atlas continued his path of devastation, his movements slow but unstoppable. Every destroyed world was a chilling countdown, a desperate call to action for the unlikely alliance. Then, a glimmer of hope. One of the space baits flickered into existence. As its colossal glow spilled into the darkness, Atlas paused. His titanic head turned ever so slightly. A soft gasp echoed into the silence on the bridge of the Lithuanian ship. Was this the turning point? "He sees it!" Dr. Patel exclaimed, a note of wild hope in his voice. By all the laws of physics, he shouldn't even register it, but the transmission from a nearby observation post crackled to life. "He's moving and he's changing course. The bait's working," an unimportant, no-name scientist said. A wave of jubilation nearly knocked the Admiral off his feet. "Yahoo and fish bites! All right, team, reel him in." His enthusiasm faltered slightly. "Well, you know what I mean. Deploy the next bait. Make it a tasty trail." The Lithuanians just looked at each other in confusion and shrugged. "This human sure likes to fish," one of them whispered. The cosmic chase was on. Atlas, the insatiable devourer of worlds, was now fixated on the luminescent breadcrumbs left by humanity's ingenuity. Yet, the joy was short-lived. With each planet-sized energy boost, Atlas seemed to grow stronger, his movements less sluggish. "Something's off," Nova Blitz warned from her basement command center, now resembling a NASA on steroids situation room. "His energy readings are spiking with each snack." "Doc, wasn't containment the point?" "It was!" Dr. Patel frantically rechecked his calculations. This isn't right, unless—" His voice trailed off, replaced by a dreadful realization. Atlas wasn't just hunting for energy, he was somehow absorbing it, growing and evolving. On the Lithuanian ship, a chilling transmission pierced the frantic chatter. It was not words, but a sensation rippling through their shared communication network. It was cold hunger, and something more. A dawning intelligence, cruel and calculating, was replacing the mindless consumption. "He's learning," a Lithuanian whispered, trembling. "He's using your bait. He's leading us." A map flickered to life on every screen in the room. The trail of glowing beacons no longer formed a quarantine zone. It formed a direct path, the final destination, Earth.